What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you an absolutely phenomenal video today. We are playing The Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and in today's video we are talking about how to counter the Witch King with Grima, ladies and gentlemen. Grima is a hard counter for Witch King in a number of ways, and it always is nice to see that play out correctly on the battlefield. I respect a tier 1 commander defeating a tier 3 commander is always good to see. So here we go, my level 43 Witch King against a level 40 Grima at this Mysterious Springs. As you guys are probably aware, the devs did make mobs and land structures harder to capture this season, which is very apparent in this extremely well-geared, very well-skilled Grima, okay? Now, before we get into the counter that Grima's running, we got to talk about how Witch King does his damage, alright? Witch King does the majority of his damage in rounds 1 and 2. That's because he has the Convener ability, which gives him the chance to double strike in rounds 1 and 2, and it gives his units initiative, which means they will attack before your units attack, okay? So he will strike first, he will strike hard, and he will deal double damage with the double strike. In addition to that, the Witch King provides a phenomenal stun against 2 enemy targets in round 1, and a nice damage nuke to those same 2 targets in round 2. So he provides his own half-decent damage with great crowd control early in the fight while putting out enormous damage. So if he's dealing double damage fast, okay, and you're stunned, you can't deal any damage back, you're going to be at a huge damage deficit going into round 2 because you have so many of your troops that are less alive because they're dead. Alright, now, Grima counters this with a number of ways, okay? Grima has fantastic abilities to avoid damage in the first few rounds of the fight. First off, Grima has this Respect 3 tree called Prudence, okay? It's a tree branch off of Survivor, the Respect 3 title. This Prudence skill tree here is going to give you, for 7 points, a 50% chance to evade all damage in the first 2 rounds of the fight, alright? So that is pretty significant in itself. In addition, he has the Respect 0 tree, second in command, which branches off into the Anticipation talent, which gives you a 75% chance for your lowest defense unit to dodge the first 4 instances of damage, okay? So, Prudence and Anticipation for the avoidance. Very strong abilities there. These, obviously, just reading the first 2 rounds, will help you counter the Witch King's damage in the first 2 rounds, alright? So that is the first way that this Grima is going to be countering Witch King, alright? The second way that he's going to be countering Witch King is he provides for phenomenal madness to all of the enemy commander and units in round 3. Worm Tongue hits the enemy commander. Okay, Master of Mischief gives madness to 2 enemy units in round 3. And then, of course, Enfeeble increases the damage those units receive by 40%. Well, just because those trigger in round 3 does not mean you can't equip equipment, which gives you madness in the first 2 rounds. So this helmet with the Discord buff, and really any helmet that provides for madness in the first 2 rounds of the fight, is going to be absolutely game-changing against the Witch King. If you can redirect some of his damage while he's doing double damage, you are golden, okay? So madness in the first 2 rounds of the fight is the other Achilles heel for Witch King. Avoidance is a big deal, and madness is a big deal, okay? So you will see in this upcoming report how this madness really afflicts the Witch King and his units and drastically changes the results of that fight, all right? And then, of course, lastly, the other portion of the Respect 3 title tree here is Survivor. Here in round 5, it's going to reduce the damage his units take by almost 28%, okay? If this was 15 out of 15, that would trigger in round 4. That's a big deal. So if he lives through the first 2 rounds and he gets into round 3, he takes a couple nukes, but he's inflicted madness on my units in round 3. He gets into round 4. If you've got 15 out of 15 in Survivor, there in round 4, not only have you maddened and crowd controlled the Witch King and his units for the first 3 rounds and dodged all the damage, but now in round 4 onwards, you're going to take 30% reduced damage. Alright, so 3 massive counters to the poor Witch King from this Grima build, okay? So let's take a quick look at the actual numbers here. Alright, it looks like the Witch King and his army put out just about 291,171. 271. I'm not going to do math on the fly, okay? 291,000 damage output, plus or minus. Grima only received 221,000 damage output, plus or minus, which means there was about a 70,000 damage deficit here, where I must have inflicted about 70,000 damage on my own units. Very, very strong from the madness, okay? Here we go into the report. Get excited, ladies and gents. And by the way, drop down to my description below. Join the Forge Discord. We got about 4,000 players. We got a bunch of insane commander guides for all the commanders, gear guides, unit guides, all kinds of stuff there. So join the Forge Discord today. Now, here we go. Into the pre-battle phase. Ladies and gentlemen, get excited. Here's the Enfeeble debuff on my units. They will take 40% increased damage from all sources while afflicted by madness. This is going to dramatically increase Grima's damage output in the first few rounds. Here we go. Here it is. Grima's Discord inflicts madness on Sapper. Grima's Discord inflicts madness on Alchemist. And Grima's Discord inflicts madness on Halberdier. So that is 3 applications of madness from the helmet. Okay. Sapper resisted madness, thank God, only to be dodged by the Alchemist using Grima's Prudence. So not only were they maddened, but now they were avoided with the one time they got through the madness. And of course, since I do double strikes in the first 2 rounds, my sappers attacked again while maddened, and this time they hit my own targets, my halberdiers, for 12,000 damage. In addition, my halberdiers counterattacked the sappers for 8,800 damage. So that's about 13,000 self-inflicted damage right there, just from the attack and the counterattack. Very, very nice. Okay, and here's another double strike. My poor halberdiers afflicted by madness hit my alchemist for 7,000 damage. So now we're up to about 20,000 damage self-inflicted, guys. The second attack resists madness, but it is dodged. So now we have 2 dodges, 2 self-inflicted damages, okay? So we're looking at probably about 20,000 damage avoided and 20,000 damage self-inflicted, okay? On a damage to kills ratio, damage out, damage received, you're looking at a 40,000 point swing from what it should have been in round 1. Here comes the Alchemist coming in hot and heavy, beset by madness, could not differentiate between friends and foes. Oh my goodness, halberdiers take 34,009 burn damage, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. So now, what are we at? 54,000 self-inflicted damage in round 1. Here's another dodge. So we have 3 dodges and 54,000 self-inflicted damage. Crazy. 4 dodges. 4 dodges. The the Berserkers dodge my halberdiers counterattack. 4 dodges, guys, in the first round of the fight. 4 dodges. 3 self-inflicted madness injuries and 4 dodges. Insane. If that is not countering the Witch King's damage output, I don't know what is, okay? Here we go into round 2. Madness does not affect the Sapper any longer, but madness does continue to affect the Alchemists. So the Sappers here hit the Berserkers for 14,000 damage. They go to hit the enemy Alchemists, and the Alchemists dodge the attack, okay? So now we're at avoidance number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Avoidance number 5 in the first 2 rounds. Okay? Here's the Alchemist resisting madness, thankfully, hitting the Berserkers, thankfully. Okay? Here's Witch King's Nazgul stun, as you can see. Decent nuking there. Okay, all right. Decent nuking. 8,400 damage from the Witch King in round 2, just from his Nazgul Screech nuke. Now into round 3, ladies and gents. The madness from Grima's helmet has disappeared, thankfully. Unfortunately, Grima's going to reapply madness using his Wormtongue and Master of Mischief ability. So, Master of Mischief just applied madness again to my poor Sappers and Alchemists. Round 3, Sappers hit the Alchemist for 7,000. Round 3, the enemy Alchemists dodge my main Alchemist's nuke because my main Alchemists are faster than the enemy Alchemists, which means Prudence has not yet disappeared. Prudence disappears when the unit attacks for the 3rd turn. Okay, so if it's a slow unit, they may dodge several instances of damage in round 3. Okay, Gil-galad's Kingly Kin works the same way, right? Crazy, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here in round 4, I'm finally not maddened. I'm finally dealing full damage for my Alchemist here. There's the Sappers for 7,000. Here's the Alchemist for 38,000. I'm finally coming in and putting some damage output here in round 4. And then, of course, going into round 5, as you know, he has now reduced the damage that his units receive by 28% from his Respect 3 Survivor tree. Crazy. So I'm getting a decent amount of damage output. But then here in round 6, he's going to trigger his madness again. Here in round 6, my units get maddened again. All right? So, I mean, you guys get the picture, right? This was a draw. This was a dirty, bloody draw between a Whale Witch King and a Whale Grima on a Mysterious Springs. Absolutely phenomenal to see a Tier 1 commander completely put a stop to a Tier 3 commander, one of the strongest PvP commanders in the game, getting whooped in a one-on-one, okay? Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to give me the like and sub. Join the Forge down below. I love you guys all a long time. Happy Friday. Randy out.